Lesson 5 of Module 4 for Eureka is entitled Exponents. So in this lesson we are totally going to talk about exponents. Let's first look at this example. So when you are working with exponents, which the little 2 at the top of the 5 is called the exponent, or the power. And the big number here is called the base. So here you would read this number 5 to the second power, or you could also say 5 squared. So 5 to the second power or 5 squared. The base is the repeated factor. And the exponent tells you how many times you want to multiply the base times itself. So for this particular expression, we would multiply 5 times 5. We would not multiply 5 times 2. That's wrong. So we want to do 5 times 5. Again, this is 5 to the second power of 5 squared. Okay, so the base, like I told you, was 5, but the base could also be a decimal, or it could also be a fraction. So earlier I had 5 to the second power, and 5 was your base. I could have 1/2 to the second power, which 1/2 is your base here, or I can even have 5 and 1/10 to the second power, and 5 and 1/10 would be your base. So if you notice, your base could be, or could look different. It could be a whole number, it could be a fraction, or it could be a decimal. So all these numbers are raised to the second power or are squared. So 1/2 squared, 5 squared, and 5 and 1/10 squared. Alright, so let's look at a couple of examples. The first example I want you to look at is 6 to the third power. Or another way of saying any number, any base raised to the third power, you can say it's cubed. Okay? So this expression here is an exponential form. We could then use it or write it in with repeated factors. So I take my base, 6, and I multiply it times itself 3 times. So 6 times 6 times 6. And this is in the repeated factors form. And then the last form that you could write it in is its standard form, where you're just multiplying it times itself. And you're actually going to solve it. So I have, let me change colors. 6 times 6 is 36 times 6 equals 216. And this is standard form. Let's look at one more example. Okay, let's look at 3/4 squared. So this is telling me that I must multiply 3/4 times itself 2 times. So right now it is written in exponential form. And now I want to write it using repeated factors. So 3/4 times 3/4. This is showing us the repeated factors form. And now let's solve it. To multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators straight across, get 9. And then the denominators, 4 times 4 equals 16. So there is standard form.